Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best gaming 4K monitors.
Starting at number 5.
Gigabyte M27U 27-inch. If you want something at a lower cost and you're looking for the best budget 4K gaming monitors, you'll have to spend more money than on other budget gaming monitors, as 4K monitors tend to cost more regardless. If interested, check out the Gigabyte M27U, which has dedicated gaming features. As a cheaper alternative, you can also get a basic 4K monitor for a low cost. Something cheaper like the Dell S2721QS is decent enough for gaming, but you won't get fast response times and high refresh rates with these monitors. As for the M27U, it's very similar to the ASUS ROG Swift PG27UQR, as it's also excellent for gaming, but there are some minor differences. It has less HDMI 2.1 bandwidth than the ASUS, as it only supports 24 gigabits per second of bandwidth compared to 48 gigabits per second on the ASUS. This doesn't make a big difference, as you can still reach its max 160 Hz refresh rate with 4K signals, but your graphics card needs to use compression for those signals. This can negatively impact picture quality, but it isn't a significant difference.
Coming at number 4.
ASUS ROG Swift. If you don't necessarily care about having high-end picture quality and want something cheaper, check out the ASUS ROG Swift PG27UQR. While it has a 27-inch screen like the Sony and many of the same features, the main difference is that it has a worse local dimming feature, so it performs worse in dark rooms. It's still excellent for gaming as it has a slightly higher 160 Hz refresh rate, and motion is excellent across its entire refresh rate range, thanks to its fast response time. It also has a backlight strobing feature to further improve the appearance of motion, and it works simultaneously with VRR, which isn't something many monitors can do. Like the Sony monitor, it has HDMI 2.1 bandwidth to make it fully compatible with the PS5 and Xbox Series X, S, and it even works with an HDMI 2.1 graphics card. It has low input lag at higher refresh rates for a responsive feel, but increases at lower refresh rates. If you want a monitor with lower input lag at any refresh rate, consider the Gigabyte M32U, but it has worse motion handling.
At number 3.
Sony 27-inch INZONE. If the LG 32GQ950B is still too out of your price range, something like the Sony INZONE M9 usually costs a bit less and offers excellent performance. It's very similar in features and performance to the LG, but it doesn't have an overclock feature and has slightly worse motion handling. However, it has better picture quality than the LG because its full-array local dimming feature is alright and helps improve the picture quality in dark scenes. However, its picture quality is still worse than the Samsung Odyssey Neo G8S32 BG85, and if you do care about this, you can also consider the INZONE 27M2V. It has a much better mini LED local dimming feature, but it can sometimes be harder to find. The Sony is an excellent gaming monitor as its HDMI 2.1 bandwidth lets it take full advantage of gaming consoles and high-end graphics cards. Because it's a Sony product, it also has a few features you can only use with the PS5, like Auto HDR tone mapping, which optimizes the HDR performance according to different games. Speaking of which, it displays a wide range of colors and has great peak brightness in HDR.
Number 2 of my list.
LG UltraGear UHD. If you find the Samsung Odyssey Neo G8S32 BG85 too expensive and prefer saving money, check out the LG 32GQ950B. It has a 32-inch screen like the Samsung, but it's different in a few ways. It has a lower 144 Hz native refresh rate, and while it has an overclock feature to go up to 160 Hz, it doesn't work with all sources and is sometimes unstable. It also has worse picture quality than the Samsung monitor, as without mini LED backlighting, the local dimming feature is worse, and blacks look gray in dark rooms. Luckily, it gets very bright in HDR, and highlights look vivid. Besides those differences, it's still an excellent 4K gaming monitor with HDMI 2.1 bandwidth, so you can use it with any HDMI 2.1 device. It also has remarkable motion handling at high refresh rates, meaning there's minimal motion blur, and the response time remains fast even at 60 Hz. If you find its 32-inch screen too big, consider the LG 27GP950B, which costs slightly less but has a worse response time.
And number 1.
Samsung 32-inch. The best 4K gaming monitor we've tested is the Samsung Odyssey Neo G8S32BG85, a fantastic gaming monitor with a 4K at 240 Hz refresh rate. While you still need a high-end graphics card to reach its max refresh rate, it's at least a good choice if you plan on upgrading your PC and don't want to buy a new monitor then. However, if you don't want such a high refresh rate, you can consider the Samsung Odyssey Neo G7S32BG75, a very similar monitor with a 165 Hz refresh rate instead, which also tends to cost less. In terms of the Neo G8's gaming performance, motion looks incredible thanks to its fast response time. It also has native FreeSync variable refresh rate, VRR, support and GSWNC compatibility to reduce screen tearing. It supports HDMI 2.1 bandwidth, so you can easily game with the PS5, Xbox Series X, S, or any other HDMI 2.1 compatible graphics card. Another advantage is its excellent picture quality, as it uses mini LED backlighting to produce a decent local dimming feature. Combined with its high native contrast, it displays deep blacks with minimal blooming around bright objects.
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.